make sure that you are on mute, although I'm very good at muting people. So if you unmute yourself, I'll probably mute you very quickly. Thank you all for making the time to come on here today to learn about bankruptcies and debt consolidation, because this is a topic that comes often through the credit repair process, right? Patty and I were having a conversation earlier, and we kind of wanted to discuss, just the basics of credit and credit repair, because we know that a lot of you are new. So I'll share a couple of, a little bit of information with you guys. She'll add something on, and then we'll actually dive into the bankruptcy and the debt consolidation. So I want to start off by saying that the first thing that I tell my clients is credit repair works, but it is a process, okay? So just like anything else, just like weight loss, just like a relationship, you have to be prepared for that process. If your client is coming into this process and they're wanting results after 1 month, you can let that client know, hey, listen, you are more than likely not going to get the results as fast as you want, because that's not how it works. Trust me, if Patty and I had the ability, or any of you, to make this move a lot faster, we would. Because just as our clients, we get impatient, we want it to move fast, but we can't, Keep in mind that the credit bureaus, they do have their time allotted to them. They have up to 45 days to conduct their investigation. Okay, what does that mean? The clients mail out the letter, right? Credit bureaus receive the letters. And I've noticed, Patty, maybe you can agree with me, that every bureau works very differently. Some are slower, some are faster. Some will send the client's documents that will say, oh, we couldn't verify your identity. Please send us a clear copy of your ID, etc. So these things happen. So just be prepared to let the client know that this could happen, and it's okay. It's not anything wrong, but it's part of the process, right? So after the investigation has been completed on their behalf, one might respond first, right? But we want to make sure we're getting all 3 responses. We have the client send them to FES, to our documents department, so that they can process it and create the new round of disputes. Okay, so this is just the basic components of the credit repair on our end. Let the client know that you are not the one actually fixing their credit, that UCES is, because some clients will ask you, and it's okay. We are referral agents. We're not the ones sitting at home, right, fixing the credit, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't know about credit, which is why we're deciding to do this, right? So I kind of just wanted to give a little background on the dispute process. You're going to have clients ask you, what can I do to make it move faster? I can't really tell you because I can't speed it up, but I can tell you what you shouldn't do while you do disputes. You should not be applying for new credit, okay? Let the client know you should not be applying for new credit. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. You should not, be contacting the bureaus every single week. Hey, did you get my letters? Hey, this. They also have the right to take away your right to continue doing disputes. So let them know. The reason why we don't send disputes every single week is because we can't. The bureaus will be like, you can't dispute anymore, you're harassing us, right? So these little things are things that you should keep in mind when you're explaining this process to your clients. So I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the actual credit repair process. I don't know if you wanted to add on anything about credit or the process, Patty.
Yes, of course. So like Karla said, it's a process. It takes time, okay? It didn't take a month to read. The process is going to take a few months. Well, guarantee the time, guys. Remember that.
Patty, you're breaking up. Can you hear us?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, it's going like in and out. I don't know why. I don't know if it's me.
And I have my hotspot on. So do you hear me?
Yeah, now I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, it's a process. Everything's a process. And we have to let the client know that it's going to work, but they got to be patient. If they are going to come in only for 2 months, then it doesn't make sense for them to even start the program. It's going to it's going to be worse for them if they start the program, come in for 2 months, and that's it. Also, what I wanted to, because, I see here my clients, what they're going through. We want to help our clients with those letters. We don't want to just sign them up and see whatever happens with you. You guys want to guide your clients, make sure their portals are open, okay? Make sure that they're doing everything correctly. Otherwise, they're not going to be happy about, about it later on your
You're frozen again,
time. And can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're back. Now you're good.
Okay, so right, they don't know that they need to open their portal. So you guys as agents need to make sure that your clients are doing it correctly. Okay, remember, yes, also as agents need to take care of our clients. Okay, this is our business, and if our clients are not doing what they're supposed to, they're going to drop. You're going to have a retraction. People that other clients that our services do not work. Okay, am I okay now? Do you guys still hear me?
Now you're a lot better. Yeah.
Okay, so we don't want that to happen, because I do have a lot of clients that come in and they say, no, I was told that your services don't work. Our services do work. Okay, we have an amazing credit repair service, but it depends all on the agent that signs the client up. Okay, guys, so we want to stay on top of that. Okay, you don't have to do the work. You guys know we don't do the work, but we need to guide our clients. And if you can help them a little bit more, trust me, they're going to bring you in more referrals. Okay.
Yep.
Remember, we do, you want to guarantee them that it's going to work for them, but not the time. I always emphasize that. Okay. And how do we know that it's going to work? Why? Because we are leveraging the Fair Credit Act law. It's, if you use the law, the correct law, it's going to work. He has no choice, correct? Then this is how everything works. Bankruptcy, debt consolidation, everything works with the law. So you want to talk to always tell your client how we work. Never tell a client that in 2 months, their credit's going to be perfect, because then you're lying to the client, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to make claims, because trust me, those claims will come back around and bite you, and you don't want that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, for sure. So when you're a new agent, I always suggest that you stay on top of your clients, because they're going to bring you more people. Okay. So as a new agent, always make sure that your clients are getting the results that they want. You stay in contact with them, and eventually they're just going to keep on referring you more clients, all their family, all their friends. That happens to me a lot of times. Most of my clients that call me are referrals.
Same here.
Right. So
they drive me nuts.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's about it. That I wanted to just say about the credit. The Fair Credit Act law. If you guys don't know what the Fair Credit Act law means, go ahead and search it, write it down, study it, and when you have a client, then that's what you're going to talk to them about. The Fair Credit Act law, and why we can remove all the negative items from their credit.
Correct. Yes.
I think that's it about the credit.
Okay, so we're gonna jump into the hot topic of the day, bankruptcy. We're gonna do the first half about bankruptcy. We're gonna do it like we did it before, kind of like type in your questions, and we'll address them at the end of basically us sharing the information with you guys. All right, so
right,
Patty, I want you to start. Take it away.
Okay, but Karla and I are both going to talk about it. Something that I don't, I don't say something. Karla's going to say whatever, I'm missing. But hold on, the internet, do you hear me again?
Yeah, you went out for a little bit, but you're back, so you're good. Whatever you were doing before, that works, so keep that.
Okay, let me see.
You're good right now, though.
I'm good. Okay. Okay, guys. So what is a Chapter 7? Okay, well, a Chapter 7 can clear all the debts from the client, from the client, and they don't have to pay anything back. Then they're not going to have a monthly court payment either. That's a Chapter 7, okay? Chapter 7 lets them keep their car them on time. They still have to pay the lawyer's fees though. The lawyer's fees are usually anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000. Okay, and that's only to just stop the calls, okay? Because as Chapter 7, a creditor may no longer initiate or continue any legal or action against the debtor, which means that when per Chapter 7, then the collection agencies or the owner of the account cannot call the client anymore. That's the only thing that really bankruptcy does, is stop the calls. Not going to fix the credit, okay? You guys got to understand this and let know. If you owe $50,000 and you want to do a bankruptcy, it's just going to stop the calls. They're not going to call you, keep calling you to get payments for those 50,000. That's it. But your credit is still going to be the same. Now the client is going to have a bigger problem, because the client now has all those collection remarks, all the debts still on their credit, plus a bankruptcy on their credit. So did it really eliminate the problem? No, it didn't eliminate the problem. Actually, now they have double problems. Okay, did it take for them? I mean, the only thing was that they didn't have to wait months for these collection agencies to stop calling them. Okay, because right away they received a message saying, okay, they're in bankruptcy. You cannot call them. It's against the law for them to call. Wait, did I freeze?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, so you know, that's what Chapter 7 does. The client doesn't have to pay the debts, and they can keep their car and home. Okay, that's it. Chapter 13. It's the Chapter 13, they agree to pay, to make repayment plans on all the debts. So which means that the client does a Chapter 13, they have to still pay monthly payments to the court, and the court chooses who they're going to pay. Okay, the Chapter 13 bankruptcy requires repayment over a 3 to 5 year plan. So the client still has to pay all their debts for 3 to 5 years through the courts, and they cannot stop those payments because they'll get in trouble. Now, is this helping their credit? No, at all. They're actually still giving away money. In top that they had to pay that big fee to the lawyers, now they still have to pay a monthly payment every month for 3 to 5 years. And guess what? Their credit, it's going to be like on the 400s. And they cannot do a credit repair for the bankruptcy until it's discharged. So this client that chose to do bankruptcy is going to have to wait 3 to 5 years to do a credit repair and for the credit to get better. So what happens after that though? After the 3 to 5 years, guess what? Now they have a bankruptcy on their credit for 10 years. 10 years, okay? Now if they decide to do a credit repair, they can, but because if it's brand new, they just got discharged, it's going to take like more than a year for it to come off. And when you look at a client's credit that just did a bankruptcy, you're going to see that all the debts, all the collection debts are still on the credit. So usually what I tell my clients is, okay, you just did a bankruptcy, just got discharged, but you know what? you still have all those, the collection remarks, charge-offs on your credit. We need to remove all these remarks from your credit and you the program. By the time, you know, all this is removed, then you can start working on your bankruptcy. Okay, so here is what is the difference between a Chapter 7 and 13. They are they're the two more common programs you can use to reduce or eliminate the debt. Yeah, Chapter 7 bankruptcy is generally meant for people with limited incomes. Chapter 13, after completing the repayment plan, the creditors cannot still have to pay other debts. They still have to pay their unsecured debts and their medical bills, and then they'll be discharged after they finish the whole payment plan, 2 to 5 years. And on the meantime, they can't do a credit repair for the bankruptcy. Okay, so should people do a bankruptcy? Okay, so a bankruptcy only stops the calls from the creditors. That's it. Bankruptcy does not remove the collection remarks from the client's credit reports. It does not remove them. Clients should only do a bankruptcy to stop a sale of a home. So as you guys know, I used to work on the foreclosures and eviction recession, 2008. And I suggest to the clients that if you're going to do bankruptcy, it should just be to stop the sale of your home or the eviction. That's it. Because with the bankruptcy, you're protected. Okay, your home is protected, and they cannot, take your home away. A bankruptcy, but that's the only reason anyone should do a bankruptcy, to stop the sale of a home, not to get rid of credit card debts, not to stop a garnishment as well. Some people also think that if they get they have a lawsuit, a collection lawsuit, and they're going to get garnished, a bankruptcy is going to stop it. It will stop it, but not because it's because it's a garnishment. It's just going to stop it because the collection agencies cannot bother them anymore. So they'll stop. But guess what? You have to pay $3,000 to $5,000 to stop a garnishment. For that, just pay the bill. Okay. Yeah. And then you're going to have a bankruptcy on your credit for months or 10 years just to stop a garnishment. So no, to stop a garnishment or a lawsuit, you should not file a bankruptcy as well. Okay. When a client is done with the bankruptcy, they have double problems. All right. A bankruptcy on the credit, and all the collection remarks are still on the credit as well. So guess what? The bankruptcy, they finish, it's been discharged. And now they have the credit reports they have all the everything bad in the credit, bankruptcies, all the collection remarks. It's a mess. So instead of the client doing to clear their debts, just come and do the credit repair right away instead. Okay, so here, hold on, I can't see this side here. Let me mute this. Let me get this here.
Can I add something on, Patty?
Yes.
So people always ask me, right? My agents always ask me, I have this person who's thinking of doing bankruptcy. They already saw a bankruptcy attorney. Oh, shoot. Hello? Am I here? Okay, I don't have it. They're like, they already saw a bankruptcy attorney, and they're asking me if they should do bankruptcy or credit repair. You guys have to remember that you have to be careful with the way in which you're wording this, right? You cannot tell a client, do this, don't do that. Okay, you can't tell a client, yes, I think a bankruptcy would be better. No, I don't think, because number one, you're not a bankruptcy attorney, right? And number two, we're just not attorneys. So I always like to say, right, if I were you, I would. That's my favorite way of saying things. If I were you, I would, okay? You give them some logic behind it, which is basically what Patty's doing right now. So to help the client understand, because you guys have to understand that these clients, they're frantic, they're scared, they're desperate, they don't know what to do. And a lot of the times they just kind of decide out of their own fear of not knowing what to do. And like Patty said, a lot of And this kind of upsets me because in Miami, Florida, everyone's response to debt is bankruptcy. I'm going to file a bankruptcy. Oh, I don't want to pay this debt, bankruptcy. And I'm like, who told you that? Oh, my aunt told me, my cousin told me. So you guys have to do what most people out there don't do, which is what we're doing right now. And you have to educate the clients, okay? You have to let them know, give them the information that, you know, we're giving you right now, and let them know, hey, look, this is how this actually works. This is what's going to happen. Remember, you're still going to have to go to court. You're still going to have to pay fees, right? So once you give them the information, you let them decide what they want to do, right? But you never, at least myself personally, I never want to come off as I'm telling someone, you need to do this. You know, I like to educate them and I like to have them decide. But any logical person, after you explain this, is going to be like, okay, I'd rather do credit repair, right? And they're going to be like, yeah, let's get started. But just give them the facts. And that's what you guys have to get good at. And that's why we're here teaching you. Go ahead, Patty. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. Can you hear us?
I hear you. Yes, I hear you.
Okay.
Okay. So credit repair will remove the collection remarks. Let's just, you know, just touch base. We'll remove the collection remarks and the debts from the credit without having to file a bankruptcy. Bankruptcy cost is much more than a credit repair, guys. A lot more. Bankruptcy stays on the credit report for 10 years. If a client comes in with a bankruptcy, the credit repair process is longer. Okay, because the bankruptcy, it's not that easy to remove. We could remove it, but first we need to make sure that it's discharged, dismissed, the whole case is dismissed, and then we can start working on it, but it's going to take a while. The bankruptcy has to be dismissed to get it disputed from the credit. Well, I just said that. So basically, this is the basic on bankruptcies, guys. But you know, you guys want to know the difference, because yes, we have a lot of clients come in and they want to know, I owe 50,000. Should I just do a bankruptcy? That's a lot, you know, that's a lot of debt. No, you don't have to do bankruptcy for 50,000. We can help you. The only thing is that, yeah, you're going to have to be patient. Don't answer those, you know, the collection agencies. They're going to keep calling you guys. We can't, a credit repair does not stop the calls. Okay, but it will remove the collection remarks and it will remove the debt. If a client really wants to do bankruptcy, tell them, well, we can just advise them.
Exactly.
If you want to, but basically it's, you know, bankruptcy is just really good to stop the sale of a home. Okay, you don't need to go through all that, through bankruptcy in order to stop all these debts or all these collection agencies from coming after you. A credit repair can remove the debts and the collection remarks through a process. And believe me, the cost is going to be a lot less, much less than a bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. So you want to educate your client and speak to them and let them know the difference. You don't, you know, so they don't go do a bankruptcy, then they find out that they should have done a credit repair instead. Okay?
Yeah, and I want to add on the difference. A bankruptcy on a credit report is considered a public record. So it's very different than anything else. It's not a collection, it's not a charge, it's a public record. That means that whatever state that client resides in, it's literally in the records. You can look it up in that state. You know, you can look up their court of bankruptcy and it's there. So it's like Patty was saying, it's a lot, it's a very negative remark to just have on your record, period. And then on top of that, have it on your credit report. And Patty, let's say I'm a new agent and I don't know what the word discharge means. How do I find out if my client's bankruptcy has been discharged?
Okay, so you could always go to the Smart Credit. And on Smart Credit, where you go to, you have to look for the bankruptcy all the way at the end, okay? Look for the bankruptcy. On the bottom, it's going to say if it's been discharged or not. Okay, and if you'll see it, so if it doesn't say that it's been discharged, then we cannot start working on it. But usually the credit reports, it does say if it's been discharged or not. It's very simple. I wanted to show you guys someone's bankruptcy on a Smart Credit, but I didn't get the chance. But if you have any questions on it and you want to know, how it reads, you can always give me a call later and I can explain to you. I can show you guys. But it's right on the credit report. So you guys just want to, like I always say, learn how to read the credit reports. Before you tell a client something, you give them an advice or something, take a look at the credit report. Okay, you don't want to give them the wrong information.
Yeah, and like Patty was saying, that's not going to be under their accounts. It's not going to be under collections. It's going to be all the way at the bottom where it says public records, and it'll say bankruptcy, chapter 7, chapter 13, and if it was discharged or not, which is what we're talking about, right? So that's actually something very important, because a lot of agents will ask, oh, can we dispute this bankruptcy? So now you have to ask yourself the question, was it discharged? Is it on the credit report? If the answer is yes and yes, then yes, it can be disputed off the credit report.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have any questions that they're dying to ask about a bankruptcy right away? We can go ahead and address it. If not, we'll move on to the next topic. I don't really have anything to add about bankruptcies. I think it's very clear cut. 9 times out of 10, when I tell people what bankruptcy is and how it works, and I just teach them, they're like, yeah, let's go with the credit repair. Because it's just kind of common sense. What would you rather spend? Thousands and thousands of dollars, have to go through attorneys, go to court, or just, start on credit repair? If it makes sense to the client, it'll make sense, and, they're going to go ahead and get started. Patty, someone asked, what success has the company had in disputing bankruptcies?
You hear me well? Because somebody was saying there that they couldn't hear me.
Now I hear you, yeah.
Okay, yes, I've seen a lot of bankruptcies. Tell you that we do have success on it. The reason is because the dispute letters go through a system, okay, and they will be removed as well. Like it's a process, but eventually it's either old already, it's an old foreclosure, a bankruptcy, or it doesn't match the client's address anymore, or there's something wrong with a name, one of the letters on the name, anyways, from the credit. Okay, so you just have to know, the client has to just keep on with the process, but I can tell you it's 100% right that foreclosures, bankruptcies, child supports, evictions, everything is removed from the credit. It doesn't matter what it is. It'll be removed from the credit. Okay.
Someone asked,
can you hear? Somebody say I can hear.
Yeah, you're getting choppy again.
Yeah, bankruptcies protect their homes.
Someone
asked, yes,
asked,
bankruptcies will protect someone's home from foreclosure. Okay, but the client should be careful with the foreclosure process, because they'll protect it just for a while, and if the client cannot do a modification to get back to their payments and everything with the bank, at the end of the day, they're gonna close on the house anyways, on the foreclosure. So
yeah.
Then they're going to have a foreclosure and an eviction on their credit.
Somebody asked, what if a client signs up and doesn't disclose this?
Right.
Oh, you're breaking up again. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, hold on. Let me see. I just opened the door.
Okay.
What about
Someone
now?
asked, yeah, better now. Someone asked, what if a client signs up but doesn't disclose this to you? And then someone else responded that when we pull the report, it'll be on the dispute letters. Exactly. Another response that I have to this is, like I said, everyone has their method of doing things. I ask my clients a lot of questions before they sign up. I ask them a lot of questions because I don't want any surprises later, and then I don't want them to have any surprises, and I don't want them to get mad at me and say, well, you never told me or you never asked me. So when I'm signing someone up, and I'm going through the questions that we all tend to ask, right? Like, what's your credit score? What are the negative items reporting on your credit score? I like to sometimes, I typically throw in there, have you had a recent bankruptcy? So maybe you guys can add that into your questions, you know, to kind of know in advance if that's what you're dealing with this particular client. But the dispute process will be the same anyway, so that won't change anything if that's kind of what this person was trying to ask.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So is there anything else you wanted to add on about bankruptcies, Patty, before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, just, you know, let your clients know for sure that the bankruptcy is just going to stop the calls. That's it. It's not going to fix their credit. Okay, because I get this all the time, guys. They think that, okay, the bankruptcy is just going to fix my credit. I don't have to pay all this. Everything's going to be fine. No, it's not going to be fine. There's going to be a bigger problem when they're done with the bankruptcy. Okay. Of course, sometimes they feel that, you know, the calls, they just too many calls and they can't keep up with it. Well, change your phone number. Change your phone number. That's actually going to help the client with eliminating a lot of these accounts from the credit anyways. Okay, because, right? Yeah, change your phone number. Don't worry about it. Just go on with the process. This credit repair, the credit repair will eliminate other problems after a while, after a couple of months. And it's just a small monthly fee. It's $89 instead of paying the $50,000, or instead of paying a $5,000 to a lawyer. It's a lot. Correct. It's like much less.
I agree. Okay, so I guess that's it on bankruptcies for now, right? So if you guys can think of any questions, you can ask us at the end, and we'll go ahead and address it at the end when you guys have questions. So I'm actually going to talk to you about something very exciting, so exciting, which is debt consolidation, and I'm saying that very sarcastically. Can you guys hear me? Because Patty's frozen.
No, perfect. I hear you.
Perfect. So I'm going to share my screen, Patty. Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah,
yes.
I see you. Yes, I see it.
Perfect. So once again, Patty, if you have anything to add into debt consolidation as I'm speaking, feel free to do so, because I'm always, you know, open to hearing more about it. But I'm going to talk to you guys from my experience with debt consolidation. I've never done it, you know, I've never done debt consolidation myself, and I have gone through a lot of clients that have gone through the process, and they've allowed me the opportunity to actually review their contracts. And I read those things from beginning to end, up and down, and I learned so much. And I was just like taken away by the way in which these companies operate and how they make their money. Because a lot of the times, debt consolidation companies make it sound so good, like your life is going to be great. You know, you're going to have one monthly payment. All your problems are going to go away. But there's a lot of things that they don't tell you, and that you would never know unless you actually sat down and read your contract. And unfortunately, nobody sits down and reads these contracts the way that they should. They're frantic, they're afraid, they sign and they start, and years go by and nothing changes. And then they come to us and they're like, well, my credit is bad and I've been paying this company and nothing's happening. So I'm going to tell you guys why I personally believe that you should never start a debt consolidation program, right? Once again, this is what I believe based on the facts that I've, you know, come together. But once again, every client will do what they believe is best for them. So my job is to educate them and, you know, lead them to the right way. But then you do have those sheep that go astray, and unfortunately, those sheep, you just gotta let them go, right? There's always good sheep in the pack. So those are the ones we're looking for, the good sheep. So I'm gonna skip all this. So what is debt consolidation program? Okay, what is a debt consolidation program? The term tends to get misconstrued a lot, right? So I actually, don't judge me, I'm a nerd, and I looked up definitions of debt consolidation and what it actually meant, right? So by definition, a debt consolidation program is designed to help people pay off their debt by consolidating, right? Putting all of them into one monthly payment, right? I got another definition. Multiple debts are combined into a single large piece of debt. I like this particular definition better because, yes, you're getting yourself into more debt. It's just a combined piece of debt, right? Usually with more favorable payoff terms, okay? So a lot of the times, these programs will come, you know, to our clients, and they will seem very attractive, right? And this is what they'll tell the clients. Hey, you know, you get into our program, there's no interest. We're going to stop the interest on all your cards. That's one thing they're going to tell them. The second thing they're going to tell them is it's one monthly payment, right? It's not like your cards where you have, you know, 10 different payments. It's just one payment. And mind you, this is true. This is true. This is not a lie, right? And the settlement of your current outstanding debts, right? They're going to settle them. They're going to settle them for you so that you pay less than what you owe. All right. So this is what debt consolidation programs will tell our clients, right? And this is typically why our clients will fall into this and start a debt consolidation program. Okay. So the next time that somebody asks you, what is a debt consolidation program? This is a debt consolidation program. So you can feel free to screenshot, you know, take your notes, right? So how is it that a debt consolidation program affects your credit? All right. So this is the key right here, because the main reason why these clients are coming to you is because they want to improve their credit score, right? And one thing that a debt consolidation program does not do, one thing that a debt consolidation program does not do is it does not help you improve your score. It does not. It does not help you improve your score. I'm going to say that louder for the people in the back, right? So what is it that happens when you do a debt consolidation? What? You can have it. Sorry. What is it that you do when you do a debt consolidation program, right? Basically, a participation in this, they will tell the clients to stop paying their cards, all right? I know that sounds crazy, but they will tell a client, stop paying your cards. And of course, the client, not knowing any better, will stop paying the cards. Now, can you tell me, Patty, what happens when you stop paying a card?
They're going to close it. It's going to go into charge off.
There you go. And that's exactly
by default.
Exactly. And actually, those words that you see right here that I highlighted, I copied and pasted that from an actual debt consolidation contract. So I'm not even making this up. This is in the contract, okay? It says, failing to make your minimum monthly payments to your creditors will negatively affect your credit worthiness. So they're literally telling you, you're going to screw up your score, okay? They're letting you know. So I don't judge anybody, but if you're signing contracts and you're not reading them, it's right in your face. It's telling you what's going to happen, right? It's saying that, you know, when you stop paying, what can happen? It may result in unpaid, late, uncollected, or charged off, all right? And from last time, we learned that a charge off is when you stop paying an account after a certain amount of time, right? Typically about 180 days, which is 6 months, and they will charge off the account as a bad debt, okay? So that's what will happen, right? So they're literally telling you in the contract, right? So you stop paying your debts. Why do you stop paying your debts? Because they want you to stop paying them so they can settle on your behalf. And it's easier to settle an account that's already been sent to collections or charged off. So that's why they tell you to do that, right? So naturally, your credit is going to drop when you stop making payments, right? Your credit history, which is 35% of your score, is gonna take a hit. It's gonna get a huge impact because you went from paying your accounts on time, and now you're no longer paying them because you started this program, right? And the no-brainer of this whole equation, you're gonna need credit repair after you're done with your debt consolidation program, because you're gonna have horrible payment history. You're gonna have late payments. You're gonna have collections. You're gonna have charge-offs. Yes, you settled the debt. Yes, you paid it, but you have bad credit now, right? So anytime that someone says, I did a debt consolidation program, do I still need credit repair? Yes, you're going to need it because they're literally screwing up your score, and they tell you right in their contract that your score is going to go back. Okay. Yep. Which to me, this is hilarious. When I read this on the contract, I was like, are you serious? Like, wow. Anyway, yep. Let me move forward. Right. How is it that they charge you? How is it that they charge the client? Right. A lot of companies have different ways in which they actually do their program. This is the standard program. I took this from a contract that from one of my clients, and it tells you, right, in their contract, it says, we do not charge or collect any fee for our settlement services unless, right, or until a debt is successfully resolved. So far they sound like good guys. You know, stop making your payments. We're going to put it on one payment, and you don't have to pay us until we're able to settle the account on your behalf, okay? Then they say, when we negotiate a proposed settlement of a debt, right, and you make a payment towards the settlement of that debt, we charge and are entitled to collect 21% of the enrollment amount of that debt. So I'm going to break that down into layman's terms. What does that mean, right? Okay, so they're going to negotiate, right, to try to get a settlement. So there's no payments being done until that settlement is agreed upon between this company representing you, because I don't know if you guys know this, but people who do debt consolidation have to sign a power of attorney, a partial power of attorney, because they're able to speak on your behalf and they're able to get in contact with your creditors on your behalf, okay? So they will have the ability to do that, okay? Now, once the company and the creditor come to an agreement to settle the debt is when they start, you know, taking your money, because now they've already resolved it, okay? And at the amount that the client enrolls with their total amount of debt, that's where they're taking the percentage from, okay? So let's say that I started a debt consolidation program and I came in with $50,000, right, of debt that I wanted to be consolidated. They're taking their cut from my $50,000, not from my newly settled amount. Does that make sense? I hope that's making sense to someone. So when I read that, I'm like, well, that sucks. Like, of course they're gonna make more money because they're taking the larger amount of money, right? And they're taking that 21% from my original debt that I entered the program with. So someone asked me if I can repeat that again. If you enter the program, right, with a total debt of $50,000, they're gonna go ahead and collect 21% of those $50,000 because that was your enrollment amount, okay? That was the amount that you enrolled into the program with, right? Not the amount that they're able to settle later. So they might be able to lower it later, but they're taking their cut from the initial amount that you started with, all right? Then they say, we may also charge the fee, right? Even if the debt is discharged without the necessity of a payment to a creditor. So they're saying, even if the creditor just decides to be a good guy and they just they discharge it and they're like, whatever, you know, we don't want to go back and forth with you, you still have to pay the debt consolidation company their fee because they worked for you. I don't know if you guys knew this, but when you learn this, you're kind of like, what? So basically what that means is even if the company that your debt consolidation company is dealing with decides to all of a sudden just discharge the debt because they're just like, it's not worth going back and forth. We're just going to go ahead and discharge it, which basically means like, don't pay it, like whatever, leave it alone, right? You still have to pay the debt consolidation a fee for their work. And in the initial portion that I shared, it says that they don't collect fees until the debt is resolved, right? So they're saying, even if you don't have to pay the creditor, we're still making our cut, all right? So as you can see, they make their money one way or the other, all right? This is an example that I took from this contract. I wasn't gonna disclose the company, but unfortunately it's still there. If you guys can figure it out, you can see it, right? So this is an example of the fees that they will charge the client, all right? Tells you at the bottom, the total enrolled debt. So this particular client enrolled with a total of $30,000, $30,838. Their monthly program deposit is $509, okay? And you're probably wondering, okay, there's a monthly deposit, right? So with a lot of these companies, you're gonna make deposits every single month until you fund the account that they have for you, until they feel like there's enough money to actually start paying all the debt. But for a long period of time, there's no money going out of that account. They're just collecting, okay? Their reason for it is, we're trying to negotiate. We're trying to see what the best settlement is before we start to make payments. This is how they work. So look at all these fees, right, that they have, right? Your one-time setup fee, $9. Monthly service fee per month, $7.25. Now I want you guys to pay attention to your transaction fees, because when I saw that was when my mouth was like, I can't believe this, right? Obviously, if your account, your designated account that they're pulling money out of has insufficient funds, they're going to go ahead and assess you a fee of $25, right? If they have to call for you and make a phone payment, every phone call, $3, okay? Every physical check payment, $10 if it's in 2 days. If it's overnight, $20. If it's a wire payment transfer, $20, okay? There's a lot of different fees for a lot of different things. So they will find any single way to add on these fees to take more of your money, all right? And I know some of you are probably looking at this and you're like, what? Like, this is crazy. And you know why this upsets me? Because you can grab your phone, your Android, your iPhone, whatever it is, you can call the company yourself and you can do all this work. You don't have to pay this company. But unfortunately, most people just don't understand that and they get caught up in this. But just know your clients are getting charged all these additional fees, and it has nothing to do with the actual paying back of the debt, okay? I get excited when I talk about this because I'm like exposing them.
Yep. I agree.
Right? Yeah. So how do they settle and pay the creditors, right? How is it that they settle and pay the creditors, right? Mind you, I didn't make this up. This is not Karla speaking. I took this from one of their contracts. So I'm not making this up, okay? It says, we reserve the right to present to you a settlement offer, right? Only after you have accumulated sufficient funds in your dedicated account. So they're black and white telling you, until there's enough money in your account, we are not settling your account. So we're gonna keep collecting your money. And until we feel that you have enough accumulated, right, sufficient funds in your dedicated account, then we will start to pay off the negotiated amount. So when I saw that, I was like, hold up. So these people are just collecting money until they feel it's the right time to start paying back, right? So it says to pay both the negotiated amount of the settlement and the full amount of the fee. So they will not start the payments until you have enough money in your account to pay them, the company, and to pay your creditors. I'm just gonna let that sit there. And I'm gonna repeat that again. They will not start to make payments on your settlements until you have accumulated enough money in your dedicated account, right? It's like your bank account with the debt consolidation company, to pay the debt consolidation company and to pay the creditors. So what does that tell us? That tells us that they don't care for you. They're not in your best interest. They're making sure they collect their money and then they start paying out, okay? Just so you guys know, this is how debt consolidation companies work, okay? So I'm gonna try my best to break this apart, but I got this example from a debt consolidation contract. I'm telling you guys, I'm not making this stuff up. This stuff is right there in the contract, right? So I don't want to read the whole thing, right? But it says that we settle your debts over the estimated 48 program life. So they're telling this particular person that they're going to be on the program for 48 months. How many years is that? Let's do some quick, or maybe someone can tell me. 48 divided by 12. 4 years. 4 years. Don't judge me, okay? When I'm speaking and I'm excited, I can't do fast. Okay. So this particular person is going to be on this program for 4 years. That's the life of their program, okay? Guys, credit repair does not take 4 years. Hell no. I'm sorry. It does not. So just the fact that you're telling me that I'm going to be on the program for 48 months, that's a lot. That's too much commitment. I'm sorry. Like, I need something faster, okay? That's like flag number one, right? Then it says your fee would work out to be approximately 5.25% of your enrolled debt per year. So whatever your debt is for that year that you're trying to consolidate, that's where they're taking that fee from. And if you're on this program for 4 years, that's 5.25% that they're taking, right? For those 4 years. Every single year, they're taking 5.25%. All right? Right? It says, although the settlement offers we negotiate may have terms that require a single payment, right? Or that require a number of payments per month. So they're saying there's accounts where you're going to have to do a lump sum, right? The settlement is like, okay, give us a lump sum, we'll let it go from the creditors. And they're saying they don't care. Our fee for the full settlement of that debt is earned and is charged in full. So they're basically saying, even if the program doesn't take 4 years, they're still getting their money for the full 4 years that they told you the program was going to take. Is that making sense to everyone? So kind of like when you're getting to a car loan, right? A car loan, like for example, I know Patty can agree to this. You know, I have a car loan. I paid that thing off before the term was over. Actually, I just paid it off and it's like the best feeling of my life. And obviously banks don't like that. They don't like that because they want to keep you longer. They want to make more money off you longer. So this company is saying the same thing, right? We gave you the program for 4 months. So we're still going to charge you the fee for 4 months. We don't care if you get out of debt faster. We're going to make our full money, right? It says it's charged in full. It's right there. I highlighted it for you guys. And this is in the contract. I'm not making this up. All right, let's move forward. I'm almost done, right? So what is it that these companies really do, okay? Mind you, I didn't make this up. This is not my interpretation. This was literally taken from an agreement. This was literally taken from the contract. And this is kind of like what made me like drop the mic and I was like, oh, hell no, I can't believe they do this, right? And it's saying, I'm sorry, it's just, they make me upset. It says, the company will be acting solely as your representative pursuant, right? That's fancy talk for, they're just gonna represent you. And guys, you could represent yourself. It's called, I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna talk to these people and I'm gonna let them know that I'm having financial hardship, that I do wanna pay them their debt, but they need to work with me. That's settling, guys. You can do that for free by yourself, okay? So they're acting as your representative, right? And they're saying company, so they're talking about themselves, has not advised you to reduce or terminate payments and will not take any action, right? This kind of caught my attention because I've dealt with clients who have been in debt consolidation programs and they're scared to leave them because they make them think that they have attorneys to represent them. And I've heard this a lot. They're like, no, you can't leave our program because we have attorneys, and if anything happens, our attorneys are going to represent you and this and that and whatever. And it's kind of telling you right here in this wording that they're not going to do any of that for you. All they're doing is representing you and being able to settle your debts, but they're not your attorney, and they're not going to represent you if, for example, someone garnishes your wages. They're not going to do that for you. That's not part of their job title, right? So they settle your debt for you when you can do it yourself. They will not represent you in court. They're not promising you an attorney, right? And they charge a lot of fees, as you guys can see, to pay themselves and pay their attorneys, which is probably just some guy sitting behind the desk saying that they're the attorney, okay? This is real talk, not making this up, right? So they don't guarantee you that they're going to be able to settle all your debts during the program. So that's not guaranteed. And if you guys don't believe me, you can go read a contract. They do not guarantee that, right? And it comes from their exact wording, right? And they also do let you know that you can cancel your participation from the program at any moment without penalty. So I'm telling you guys this because a lot of the times your clients are going to be scared. I don't want to cancel my debt consolidation program. I'm scared. What if this? What if that? And it literally says in their contract, at any moment you can cancel. You don't have to continue with this program, and we will not penalize you, okay? So just know that the client will not get penalized, right? The first thing the client might ask you is, am I going to get my money back? And that's where the loss comes. Unfortunately, you entered an agreement with this company. And as you guys could see how I broke down the contract to you, they don't care what you do. They're going to take their cut and they're going to make their money, all right? So you can leave, but yes, when you leave, you're more than likely going to forfeit that money unless you put up a very good argument and you fight them and you maybe are able to get a percentage back. Other than that, they're going to say, we work for you for X amount of time, pay us our money. That's just kind of how this works, okay? So why is credit repair better? So once again, I never tell the client, you need to do this. This is why I believe credit repair is better, right? It's much more cost effective, okay? If you look at this particular person, they owed they were consolidating $50,000. They were paying $500 for 4 years. Can anybody give me the quick math on that? Or I'm gonna do it myself. 500 times 48 months, $24,000. That client during those 4 years of their program will pay $24,000. Is it better than the $50,000? Yes, it's better than the $50,000. But would you really rather pay $24,000 and then still have to deal with the credit repair later? These are the questions that I ask my clients. And once the client thinks about that, they're like, man, she's right. Like, that's stupid. Why would I do that? You know, you don't have to wait 7 to 10 years. You don't have to wait 4 years. You don't have to wait after $24,000 are gone after your account. You can start credit repair right away, right? Credit repair is going to help you clear the negative items on your report, right? It's going to help clear up this whole problem, right? And it's going to help you get your buying power back. Because guys, at the end of the day, our clients just want to be able to buy. They want to be able to buy their house. They want to be able to buy their car. They could care less about all this. They're just like, teach me what I need to do to go buy my house, period. All right. So I didn't want to, I think I went through that kind of fast, and it was a lot, but that's basically what debt consolidation is. What experiences have you had with this, Patty? And maybe what would you like to add on about this particular topic?
Okay, so I'm very happy you went over everything that has to do with debt consolidation. You broke it down very well for everyone, because yes, you are right. Debt consolidation, it's not the best way to go. They're practically just taking your money, and if the collection agency wants to sue you, the debt consolidation program is not going to stop it. A lot of people think that because they're in the program, debt consolidation program, it's going to stop lawsuits, and it's not. The reason is because they're not disputing any of the accounts. They're not disputing with the Fair Credit Act law. They're not using the law, okay? So I've seen clients that have been in the debt consolidation program, and they get sued. So it doesn't help him in anything. Then they've been with the program 2-3 years. They threw their money away. They finally realized that it's not working out for them. Their credit still, it's worse than ever. So that's when they realize, okay, let me do the credit repair. I've also had a few clients who, yeah, they've been very scared to get out of the program because they think they have a contract. No, there's no contract. You do not have a contract with the debt consolidation program. You don't. You just signed the paper and that's it. And the only reason you signed the paper is so they can go ahead and help you out with the settlement account, the settlement with the banks. That's it. So they can represent you. That's the only reason there was a contract signed. It's when it's not even a contract. So you can cancel anytime. I've also seen that some of my clients have gotten some of their money back. Not all of them. Sometimes their money is on hold. They haven't paid any of their accounts. So I've been able to tell them, okay, before they start paying any of those accounts, call them up, cancel with them, and tell them to send you your money back. And they have been able to get most of their money back. So that's, it's good for them. But overall, debt consolidation, it's not the other way out as well. It's going to be double the work and a lot more money that the client has to waste, because it's a waste. It's not going to help them with the credit. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's also my, what I think about debt consolidation. Anyone have any questions on it before we log off?
Someone asked, does credit repair stop the calls from the creditors? No, not really. You can't. The thing is, guys, I wish we had the power and the ability to stop or speed up some things, but we don't. We have to wait, just like you guys. And the credit repair, what it does is it helps the clients be able to dispute those items with the bureaus. The bureaus gets in contact with all the creditors, but it's not that that's necessarily going to stop the calls. The calls will continue to come. So like Patty said, change your phone number. That's a good tip we can give you. There is a way to stop the calls. It's called cease and desist, but it's not just purely from credit repair that it'll stop. Someone said, when can a client start credit repair with UCS and a 7-year discharge? I kind of don't understand that question.
7-year discharge, the bankrupt?
I'm sorry.
See?
No. It says, what can a client expect?
It's not, you don't get discharged after 7 years. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it says, what can a client expect when starting credit repair with UCES and a 7-year discharge bankruptcy? That was the question.
They can start right away. As soon as the bankruptcy gets discharged, they can start the program right away. They don't have to wait 7 years, 10 years. Actually, the bankruptcy gets discharged most of the time 6 months later or a year later. Sometimes even sooner than that. So as soon as it's discharged, the client can go ahead and start the program.
Someone asked, credit attorneys only help with creditors who are breaking the law by threats, right? Yes. So there are, actually, I'm going to quickly share my screen on that one. If you guys actually want to know what our credit attorneys can do, you guys can actually go into your UCES, right? And I guess as I'm going onto the website, yes, there are certain things that the credit attorneys with FES can help you do. No, if you have a garnishment, they're not going to stop your garnishment. You're going to need outside help for that, right? If there are other things like that. But yes, if you're being contacted after several hours or before certain hours, yes, you can have the credit attorneys helping you. If they're harassing you, they're being extremely aggressive and just rude, because some of them do, and I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to take all your money, like that's not correct. Yes, you can go ahead and sue them for that. So if you guys actually log into your client portal, or your client logs into your client portal, and you go to where it says credit attorney, it tells you what it is that they can help you with. Okay, debt harassment. Maybe Patty, you want to talk a little bit more about this, because I think you've actually dealt with more people with this. I really haven't had many people who have crazy debt harassment.
Debt harassment, okay, if they're calling like before 8 in the morning, after 9 o'clock at night, they're harassing you. If they're calling you from different phone numbers and they're harassing you, if they're coming to your house, they're harassing you. So yes, our lawyers can help you with that, okay? And if, our lawyers are gonna prepare a letter, send it to them so they can stop harassing you. Now, if they don't stop the harassment, you could actually file a lawsuit against them and get up to like $1,000 for you, just because they're harassing you. Okay, so most of the time, yeah, and if you have to have some kind of proof. If the client sees that they're getting harassed, they need to record the time, they need to record everything, okay, and the days, everything, so like that you have proof. And if you can record the call, even better. You could actually get some money back for that. But that's what our lawyers do only. That's the only thing that they can help our clients with, the harassment, the calls out of, place, and in them sending letters like crazy to your client and stuff like that. But if the client is in dispute with the credit bureaus, the collection agencies should know that, and they should stop the harassment, more or less. Now, if the client keeps getting letters and they're asking the client for information, the client should not answer any of the letters, and they should never give their information out to them, ever, ever. Your bank account should to any of the to pay a credit card bill, because if they have your bank account and you stop paying and they want to file a lawsuit against you, and then they on file. So never give your bank account to anyone, to the agencies, collection agencies, or to the banks. Okay, never ever give bank accounts. What was the next question?
Someone said, let me scroll back up. Can a bankruptcy that has been discharged actually be removed before the 10-year period is up?
Yes, of course. It can be removed right away. I mean, right after it's discharged, start the program. It might not be removed in the first or second month, but it'll eventually be removed. They don't have to wait 10 years. The most, probably a year. The most.
Someone asked, so a debt consolidation company can't go after you if you cancel with them. What are they going to go after? They're just going to be pissed because they're not going to be able to take your money anymore, but that's about it. The only ones that might come after you are the actual creditors if you actually entered into a settlement with them because you agreed that you were going to pay them. So that's who can come after you, but at that point, you're dealing with them one-on-one. You kind of cut out the middleman, which is the debt consolidation company, which is the one that you were paying all the money to allegedly settle it for you. But no, the debt consolidation company can't do anything. It even says in their contract, you can stop this contract at any time.
Exactly. So. Yes, yeah. They can never do anything against you. Someone says here, how does one work on removing a judgment? Okay, so we need to do what it's called vacate the judgment. And that's done through motions and stuff. But yes, you can remove the judgment. And my advice is that you do remove it. Otherwise, if you do not remove the judgment, that's when the garnishments come in. Okay, and the garnishments don't have to be done the same month that they give you the judgment. I've seen a client come in with a judgment after 10 years that it was placed under them, the judgment. 10 years they had the judgment. Then the collection agency came after them and garnished their bank accounts, 3 bank accounts. Jeez. So you want to take care of your judgments right away.
Someone asked that there's a court order and a date, so can we dispute? And I responded to them that yes, we can dispute, but they also need to handle it on the legal end, which is what you're saying, right? So yes, we can help with that, guys, but when there's now a legal aspect involved to this, that needs to be handled as well. So that's what Patty was saying, that you need to vacate the judgment, correct?
Right, yeah. And now you guys, since you guys don't know much about, the legal system, you don't want to give too much information, because if you do give the wrong information and it's wrong, you can get in trouble, okay? So instead, get someone that knows how to deal with this to talk to your client. Do not go in and start telling them. Instead, get someone, a professional to speak to them. I do know, and I do stop all these lawsuits. So if you guys have any, problems with that, you can let me know. I'll try to help you as much as I can with those judgments.
Yep.
Okay.
Patty's good at that. I've sent her a couple of my clients and on point. Someone says, UCS has all the tools you need to consolidate your own debt. I use the tools and they work. Yeah, it's true. We have so many resources. I promise you guys, one day that you take the time to actually look through your client portal, you're going to be surprised at how many resources we have. So let your clients know too, so that they can use them and take the full, advantage out of it. Since they are paying for this every month, let them know, hey, look, you have additional resources. Use them. Take advantage of them because they work. It's true.
Exactly. When you first start as when you first start as an agent, it's important that you go through your portal. You read everything that is on your portal, because clients do have questions. Even though we don't do the work, we want to have some knowledge on what we're doing. Okay, we're only the referral agents, but we need to educate ourselves too. But it's good that we for us to know everything on credit as well, bankruptcy, judgments. So like this, you can help more people out there, and you can help everyone save more money, a lot more money, and yourself. If you ever have to go through a problem, a financial problem with something, you will know what to do in order to save yourself actually more money and your family money.
Someone's asking me if I can give my number. I don't know how I feel about that. I'll send it to you privately, this person that asked me. But no, I would rather not share my personal phone number just because I already get a lot of calls. If you do have like a dire question that you need to ask me, you can ask me on Instagram, or you can ask me on here or in one of the chats, and I'll be more than happy to answer your question. But because this person asked me, I just sent you my number. Please don't share it with the whole world, please.
Right. Also, what you can do is, get with your upline. Sometimes they're in touch with us, and if they can call us, and we can answer all the calls that they have all together. That's what I do sometimes when their upline calls me, so I answer them.
Someone said, do you guys do training on other topics? Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're actually, this is something that Patty and I decided to, because she has a lot of legal knowledge, I have a lot of credit knowledge, so we kind of decided to come together. So our goal is that every week we do bring you guys a new topic. This week we talked about bankruptcy and debt consolidation. Last week we talked about charge-offs and collections. So yes, that is the goal for us. Any more questions?
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you so much. I see your message.
Does anybody have more questions for us about anything that we discussed today, or any particular question before we wrap up?
Okay, perfect. I'm glad everyone's learning something from us. And this is what we want for you guys to feel confident.